Hey, yo, peace, peace. It's your man, El.Judge. Coming right back at you with some of that real talk real fast, man. Hey, this video is exclusive for YouTube only, man. You will not see this on any of my other pages. This is only going to be on YouTube. And we're going to talk about something, man, that's kind of important because, man, look, I noticed that a few days ago I posted a video talking about why so-called black people aren't coming out in protest. And some people, man, the majority of the people, when I say the people, I'm talking about all people. The majority of the people, they understood what I was talking about. And I'm going to say, man, 99.99% of them had a positive response to that. But there was that little 1%. That 1% that someone got up there and said that some people say, well, I don't think it's a good idea. We need all Americans to be out here protesting and fighting. And yeah, that is a truth. But man, right now, this is not for us to get involved. Like I said, if we got involved, they're going to change the story to something completely different. And then they're going to use that to throw us off track and then to enforce other different kind of rules and regulations on the people. So it's best for us just to sit back. Now, I had another character. They said that he said that so-called black people, they already sat out during the time of voting for Kamala Harris, and then now they're sitting out on this year. Now, let me tell you something about that there. The majority of the black people, they came out in support of Kamala Harris. It was a very small amount of us who did not vote. A lot of people came out and they supported. See, now you have these people who want to be ninnies and they want to sit back and try to have an excuse to point the finger at so-called black people. Don't point the finger at black people, because 80-something to 90-something% of the black people came out and they voted for Kamala Harris. The reason why she didn't get in is because she didn't get the so-called YT vote. She didn't get the Hispanic vote. She didn't get the doggone all the votes from the men, and it's basically, we cannot win an election by ourselves. Even when Barack Obama won, the people wanted to see something change. The people who kind of was thinking funny about having a black president, they was like, man, anything's better than the direction that we're going in right now. Let's try something different. Yeah, but stop letting people gaslight you and make you think that, oh, it's black people's fault that Kamala Harris didn't get in there. No, it's all those people who did not participate, all those people who were other than us who did not vote is the reason why she didn't get in there. So stop it and quit acting like a little baby and a little child and act like you got some doggone brains. Sorry for the fire. But yeah, we simply cannot come out right now because this is a setup. And this setup started way back. This setup started during the so-called Sleepy Joe's, it started during his administration. Because believe me, let me say this real fast. There are more people than what you think who are in the Democratic Party who are sympathetic to the ways of the thoughts of Maga. And I'm going to leave it at that. Now let's continue. Now, all new worlds are built off of slave labor. This is why you have a dollar bill. This is why you have the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill. It represents slave labor. Now, they break the people down, put them through a state of chaos, and then put them to work to reprogram the people. This is how it's been done. It's the same playbook over and over. The same, excuse me, let me take a drink. It's the same playbook over and over. Order through chaos. Order ab chaos. Order through chaos. They use the same playbook. But going back to what I was saying about the Democratic Party. Sorry, I got thrown off. They passed this bill called the Hate Crimes Act. And a lot of the so-called older Democratic people, and a lot of the so-called people who look like this here, they were seeing that people were walking in our churches and doing stuff to us. They saw that people were walking in supermarkets and doing stuff to us. So they was like, yeah, we need this hate crime bill. But remember, you're dealing with characters that have a Janus personality. They act like they're doing something for the good, but the other side of their face is for the bad or for the evil. This hate crimes bill gives them the right to give someone 25 years for a hate crime. Now, here's the thing. Now, if they were to get us to come out and do some protesting, and then they did something stupid to a bunch of us, and then we decide to retaliate, boom, they hit us with a hate crime bill, and they get to lock up a whole bunch of us. Especially if this character or the situation that's running the situation right now, if he says this is an illegal protest, they can come and just vamp and pick you up and then go to war with the people. Just come and grab them and then throw them wherever they want. This is why the situation that's running the situation right now, this is why they try to bring that same bill that allowed them to lock up the Japanese during the beginning of World War II. I hope I said that correctly. I've been on this planet for a long time. I can't remember everything. But he tried to bring that back. But then the judges was like, no, we shut this down for 14 days. You better rethink about this here. They're trying to pick with us to try to get us to come out and play with them so they can use us for an excuse to build a new world that goes going back to the pyramid on the back of the dollar. All new worlds are built with slave labor. Now they have the audacity to be like, you know what? Thanks to DEI, we're going to remove the links to the soldiers who are buried in Arlington Cemetery. All right. He said we're going to remove the links to the women, to the Hispanics, and to the so-called blacks who participated in the war. Let me tell you what that does. Now, well, let me say this real fast. This is why I told you to go back and take those videos that I did on the Civil War. Take those videos, download them, and keep them bad boys. Put them on a flash drive, do something, because I gave you some jewels that a lot of people don't talk about. I digress. Now, when he removed the links to those soldiers who were women, who were Hispanics, and who were so-called black, what that did is now you no longer have the ability to find out who these people originally look like, what their names, and go through their lineage. Because a lot of the doggone people who fought in the Civil War on both sides and who were generals and stuff like that, some of those people did not look the way how we were told they look. They're erasing history, y'all, right before our eyes. Now, the moment that he was to do something like that there, or even attempt to do something like that there, the whole Democratic Party was supposed to come out and shut that down. That shouldn't even have been part of our fight. Luckily, there was a judge who shut it down for 14 days, like I said, and telling him he better regroup on that. But well, no, the judge didn't say anything about the Arlington Park thing. No one said anything about that yet. But when he said that he wanted to reinstitute that the act that allowed them to lock up Japanese during the time of World War II, when he said he wanted to bring that back, them judges shut that down. They want to use us for an excuse to do whatever they want to the American people, because a lot of the American people are so MAGA dumb that they're willing to give this situation that we're in the power to do something stupid onto us, so then they can turn around and do it onto all of us. They're willing to sell us out because some people can't compete with the fact, and they're running out of excuses why they are failures. You no longer can sit back and say, well, the reason why I'm a failure is because they're giving everything to those people who look like that, and that is simply not true. The Hispanics who was coming across that border and who was living in apartment buildings and living in hotel rooms and it was being financed, that was one of the best things, the best excuses that they had in a long time. To sit back and say, see, this is the reason why we can't make it, because they're giving all the money that should be going to us to them. And they're not realizing that we were over here, the people who look like this, we were saying the same thing. Like, why are they giving them money that they could be giving us, especially us? Especially us, the people who survived Jim Crow and survived Jim Crow culture that which still exists. Come on, y'all. Shame on you. We have these people who are, they're so afraid of us progressing because we can't help but to move forward, but there's nothing in their spirit that allows them to move forward. They don't have it. They can't compete. They don't know how to just sit back and put in the hard work and to become the professional and the best Americans they can be. They want to sit back and be these so-called useless Americans who want to blame their existence on everybody else. Ain't that what y'all say about us? Could it possibly be that you are projecting who you are upon us? Put in the work. Educate yourself. Study things from all different points of view. When you look like this here and you look anything close to this right here, we have to study everyone else's history, because our history was, especially us, our history was only slavery. So in order for us to progress in this world, we had to study the history of everyone, especially people who look like this. Not purple, but this color. So yes, we have an understanding of the many different points of view of your history. We have an understanding of the many different points of view of the Native Americans' history. We have an understanding of the different points of view of those people who came over here from Europe and all that stuff. And we have a different understanding and different points of view of the people who come out of Africa. We had to learn about everybody else and only accept the fact that we are Negroes who came out of the jungle and had absolutely nothing and was taught how to be doggone servants. That's the story that was forced upon us, and that's the story that we had to accept until we found out other things. Now that story, due to the fact that people think that our lives have no value, no one wants to pick up books and study who we truly are. So everybody's still arguing, trying to say, stick to the narrative that was given to you. But no, the narrative is not correct. We're trying to tell the people that, hey, look, not only are we part of this system or part of this world, we are a major part of the creation of this world. But everyone wants to be like, no, we don't want those people to progress, because if they progress, they're going to shoot so far past us, there's nothing we can do. And you can't, how can we blame them? Think about it. We have one people who say that they've been on this land for 30,000 years. And they haven't, their achievements compared to us is like this. We've invented things that the whole world uses and still use to this day, and they only invented this much stuff. Then we have another people who come over here from God knows where, they say Europe and other places. And then they said that they brought us over here as servants and that we were know-nothings that came out of the jungles, and they had to teach us how to even basically walk and how to pick cotton and all the stuff. But nevertheless, our greatness compared to them, they had to lie about their history, and we're telling you the truth and they can't even take it. And I'm not talking separation. I'm just trying to make us look in the mirror and look at ourselves and look at the situation and what's going on here in this place that we call America. This is a heck of a thing, man. And to come up through Jim Crow culture and black code laws. Jim Crow ended in 1965, but the culture of Jim Crow is still alive and well. If you don't think it is, if you don't, only way you could think that Jim Crow culture is not still alive is for you not to own a television, for you to live in the woods and not know anything about the world, because MAGA is Jim Crow culture on steroids. They let you know that Jim Crow culture still exists. You have a bunch of people who want to be rewarded for their laziness and for they just want to be rewarded just because of the color of their skin. And they want to have the ability to be as evil as they want and disrespect everyone, and no one have the right to say anything to them about them being evil. This is the same thing that how Jim Crow was back in the days. They could be as evil as they want and get away with it. You could say nothing. And now MAGA is asking for Make America Great Again. They asking to go back to that. Have you ever heard MAGA talk about the freedom and the participation and being equal to all Americans? Have you ever heard MAGA say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, unto the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all? Have you ever heard that? These are things that you will not hear from them. And I know, man, look, while we are sitting back, we don't have to be completely, although we're not protesting, we should remember that this is not just a physical war, this is a spiritual war. Go back and watch my videos. I've given you spiritual techniques that you can use to fight on the other side of things. Things are going to come to an end. But right now, like I said, you just sit back so we can figure out who's who and what's what. Sometimes you got to let them bring the fight to you. Don't go out there. Now, this part, I'm going to say one thing before I leave. This is something that I'm just thinking of. These characters they always like to go after soft targets. And then a few years ago, we're in the making now, they had started this thing with so-called black people and so-called black men and black women. They have been arguing amongst one another. And no one has really taught black women how to choose a man. They've always choose that fun guy with the doggone immaturity and no man-like qualities. And then they end up getting mad, and then they begin to talk to other women about not messing with so-called black men. Now, this has placed a lot of women in the position, because of the bad choices that they made, it placed a lot of women in positions where they're in a household where they don't have a man. And they think a man is not important. But I am telling you, you are a soft target. Now, it was one of these ladies, one of these so-called MAGA ladies or whatever, she said real men protect their women. Now, it's placed us in a situation where if these people decide to act a fool and go after the soft targets, we're going to look real bad, because we're not going to be able to protect and defend a lot of women, because you're not our family. We can't sacrifice our family for a woman who doesn't really care for us. I'm going to talk about the inner battle within us. Picking a fun person over a father-like person was a bad choice. You need to know the difference between a male and a man. A male will continue to act like a child. The average male, the person that he was when he was 12 years old, that's the person who he's going to be for almost the rest of his life. The father-like figure, he's boring, but he's going to make sure you got a roof over your head. He's going to make sure your kids are straight, and he's going to make sure Somebody come try to mess with you. If you sit there and ruin yourself because you listen to the music and you listen to your girlfriend and you listen to doggone failed women, you put yourselves in that position. I suggest you start going to the range, bang bang. You better figure out how to take care of yourself because these people are cowards. They do go to soft targets first because we can't even let that bring us up out of the roof. Bring us up out of the house. Defend yourself. It's your man, El.Judge. Yeah, this is not going to be on TikTok. And I hope this is allowed on YouTube. Peace and blessings. I'm out.